Hey everybody. So I wanted to do a little update. And even the arrangement right now of my personal self, blanket, in bed, hair all ruffled, ties into the energetics of what we are breaking down, breaking through, and how that is beginning to ripple out into the collective in a beautiful way. The other day, I was working with my teams, my own council of 12, and they had come through and said that the way I had asked kind of like what's brewing in the collective, and I see how it ties into my own reality and what I'm facing and working with right now. And they gave me a theme, and the theme was Dad went to work and never came home. And I tuned in to ask, when we're tuning into the collective, right, is this the United States? Is it worldwide? And this was a worldwide collective approach, and it's basically how the archetype of the father has abandoned post, and how that's being restructured and reframed to a more unified and familial unit in regards to universal support structures, and how important all roles are. So the role of the archetype of the mother within, and the frequency of the father within are all, and the child, all of it is important in the all-encompassing, integrated, expansive universe that we are playing in now. But the focus has been on the abandonment of the father archetype, and how the father archetype has been distorted throughout mankind and throughout history, and how many are feeling abandoned by the father. Okay, so it's not just abandonment of our own father and the abandonment wounds that the collective holds, but we're looking at monotheistic deities. We're looking at dogmatic structures. We're looking at the patriarch. We're even going into the monarchy and the matriarch, and how that and how basically many of us have had to kind of quote unquote fend for ourselves, because that was what the role of the father had held for a very long time. So if we go into the family structure, there's been a lot of this. So, once again, individualized, we see the archetypes shift between family to family, business to business, global leader to global leader. But a lot of the archetype of the masculine energy, or even the male form, has been to overwork, to overstimulate, to indulge heavily for the sake of being the placeholder, or for being the foundation of the reality. And we even see this happening with mothers. There are single moms out there that have had to hold this father archetype, where they are having to do it all to make means and to get by. And a part of this cultural template that's coming forward, and it's a result of the universal energetics and the stage that we're setting for New Earth Foundations, is where can we do less and receive more? And so in one aspect, during this passageway of lunar solar eclipse cycles, we're under a review. We're under a place of just deep connection and aligning our soul-aligned purpose. A lot of us have gotten the call, don't do any work, just be. Just be with self, right? Just be with self, hold space for self, connect with self, build that relationship with soul, light body, higher self, star body. Build that connection with DNA, build that connection with your energetics, build that connection with your universe, build that connection with your divinity. It's about the new relationship that we hold with ourselves as soul, as source embodied, and how we can continually keep that connection open, alive, and thriving, so that universal support can come in and bring balance, right? So a lot of this is that we feel. So, okay, coming back to this, hold on. Coming back to the soul-aligned reality and the soul-aligned visions, is we're beginning to discard old ways of being and old ways of doing to align with soul-aligned ways of being and doing that are going to mark the trajectory for what we are going to see through summer. So as we are walking through this passageway, we're kind of setting the tone or the foundation for what we're calling forward in summer, winter solstice, because it depends on which hemisphere of the earth you live on. But so for here in the United States, I'll say for summer solstice, this is kind of setting the stage for, okay, what seeds am I going to plant? And then on summer solstice, how do we anchor those pathways and align ourselves to be able to fulfill those things in our own reality? And a big part of this is been softening the male form and softening the masculine energetics as the feminine energy or the mother energy is coming in to assist with that softening. So we've had moments of like a lot of the Sekhmet energy and a lot of the Hecate energy coming through and really chopping down the masculine ego so we can transcend the distortions of the masculine energetics, and we can begin to embrace more of the Divine Father and how we hold that in balance with the Divine Mother. And then we found this softening of the elemental nature, right? So really more of the, as I see it, more of this crone energy is coming forward to assist in activating the elder father, which is more of a purified father energy and doesn't play into the propagated storylines regarding male energetics. And so as a result, there's a lot of feminines that are stepping into the empowerment and are saying no more to the distorted father, to the distorted male. But as a result, too, we're seeing a lot of men that are softening now, that are being more giving, kind, loving, nurturing, and compassionate. I'm seeing it in my own reality, and I got huge confirmation about it this morning from my sister Julie regarding something that had occurred that brought forward this revelation that this is beginning to soften. And of course, we, to say that, well, let's just say this is rippling out through the collective. And the men that are opening their hearts wider and wider and are softening more and more, are stepping more into their purified masculinity, which is going to provide us an opportunity to release a lot of burdens and stress and worry that the dominating patriarchal and dominating dogmatic structures have been holding for so long. In this balance, we're finding a rise in the soft purity. But as a result, too, what's happening is the universe wants us to, especially those of us that have been doing this for a while, to bring balance into how we work with energetics in receiving and in work, so we can do less and receive more. So when we do less and receive more, we open up a window to connect deeper. Connect deeper with tribe, connect deeper with family, connect deeper with the elements, connect deeper with soul self, connect deeper with higher self, light body, to learn more, to discover more, to unravel more, to find out more of who we are. So what this space has created is an opportunity to rest and catch a breath. So then when we get prepared for all of the creations that'll open up through summer, we have a go window to first off honor the energetics. I don't see summer as being go, go, go and green light the whole way through. But it's that this is a preparation period to begin to align to those new realities and new creations that we're seeding and calling forward for summer. And a lot of this was stuff that we planted in spring. So this would be fall, spring, depending upon where you're at in the world. And opening up for us to be able to receive and play in those energetics through summer, winter. Okay. So what does this mean for all of us? It means that there's a lot of fathers, so I'm going to say father role, that are going to be able to have more space to be able to connect with family, connect with emotions, and to make peace with the work, the 9 to 5, the hustle, the struggle. Some of that level of work is exciting, especially if you have a passion for what you do. But there's also been a great stress and worry, and there's also been, this is heavily affected our own economy. And it's greatly affected those men that live more in their feminine energy. So for those of us that understand, right, that in our own world, we can find... Let's take a moment to pause. There's been a lot of stress put on the masculine archetype. Let's just put it this way. To put food on the table, to keep a house over their heads. And the emotional impact that it has had on the cultural templates, on the male and the female form. So not just the energetics, and we're not trying to play in duality or to play in the binary coding, right? But how this has affected the all regarding safety and stability on our journey has greatly affected us to be able to kind of work under pressure and to begin to try to thrive with a whole lot of stress under our bellies and belts that is not sustainable, right? Because there's always been a tipping point or a breaking point in that level of stress being held, where we begin to undercut our values and bypass our morals and ethics in order to receive a dollar, right? So what we found is that there is a moral compass that has been embedded within all of us in humanity, even those that we would call quote unquote unawakened, that we have had to bypass at some point in order to receive a dollar, in order to receive that financial income, so we could be able to provide stability for ourselves and for our families. And as a result, those that go without have had to take drastic means and measures to bypass their morals and their ethics and their familial structures in order to receive and to be able to even have some food in their belly, right? So the way that this energetic works and the way that this programming works throughout the collective is that we see a rise in the hustler, right? We see a rise in those that cheat, lie, and steal in order to receive, because their safety has constantly been tested. And as a result, they've been put out by society or outcasted by society. And as far as purified energetics and purified intentions, is a lot of this creating this space to be able to reflect on where we aren't pure with our intentions, so we can align with that soul-aligned reality, right? And so for those of us that are on this wave of ascension right now and are doing this moment to reflect, we look at where are we undercutting our values and the values of others so we can receive? Where are we putting too much pressure on ourselves to create? Where are we still living in survival and not allowing thriving into our reality? Okay. So if you're feeling this call to just not be online, to not do a whole lot, and to just be, it's a reason. It's a part of the cultural template that we're clearing, right? Many of us created and worked because of money. Or we created and worked so we could have food on the table. Or we created and worked so our ego got recognition. So that people could tell us that we're doing a good job. It really did fuel a lot of more of the spiritual narcissist and the spiritual ego. Okay, especially when we're looking at the light worker journey and why we're creating. And so a lot of this reflection point in the internal talk that my universe has been saying to me has been, so first off, the question coming forward constantly has been, if you could have it all, what would you do? If tomorrow you woke up and you had no fear, you had unlimited abundance, what would you be doing with your life? And that's a part of that question point is what begins to unravel the soul-aligned path, is to recognize that the soul-aligned path is that we are on our pathway and we are creating or doing and being in a way that is fully soul-aligned, which means that the human doesn't get in the way. So as we surrender the human ego and the human programming to the higher self, light body, soul, star body, and we allow that universal support network to support us and to guide us, we begin to soul align our visions, where we're not doing something for the sake of X, Y, or Z. And that's a lot of the cultural templating that we're clearing. and holding space for humanity to embody that same frequency. And there are things that this affects, especially the economy. It affects how we are structuring our businesses and work life, how we are structuring our family life, to create more space for that, right? To create more space to connect with a balanced mother-father archetype within us, but also an opportunity for us to connect with what home is within us and what family is within us. And a part of that soul-aligned structure and soul-aligned vision to be able to have balance in our lives, right? To be able to hold more peace and to be able to connect more. Right now, more than ever, the children need us. Whether that be if you are in a family and you have children, your own children, or also connecting with our own inner child. A lot of this balance point in reparenting of the inner child provides us an opportunity to provide that safety and that support that the inner child probably didn't receive growing up, or it did, but it received it in a distorted way that kept a skewed programming alive, where it led us further to connect with the Divine Mother, Mother, Father, God, Mother, Father, Source, Divine Mother, Divine Father, however we want to view it. It's brought that connection alive to restructure our own mother and father within. And so it's been an interesting time because there's been this full faith and full trust in the alliance that we've built with the divine, the alliance we've built with our teams, the alliance we've built with the universe, to provide for us in such a way where we don't have to carry the burdens and the worry anymore. It's knocking off a lot of stress off the field. And as a result of that, we settle into this place of peace and harmony, right? We settle into this place of peace and harmony where we know that we're being supported and guided regardless of what we do. And then when the green light turns on, when the door opens, the go window appears for us to create, we create in a balanced way where the intention is to create, to uplift, and inspire, and support, regardless of doing because of lack, or doing because of fear, or doing because of self-worth, or doing because we need ego recognition that we're on the right path, right? Whatever it might be. What we're doing is we're stimulating God consciousness within us. We're stimulating creator consciousness within us by balancing our own lives and aligning our creations to that which not only serves in our humanitarian roles and serves in the collective realities that we're building, but it also assists us in being able to balance and have it all, right? So there might be some people who need more space, right? And so as a result, they're probably getting go windows to take breaks from various people, various groups, various organizations, or even their own family for right now, so they can reconnect to themselves. And there's some people that are creating this space so they can connect more in their reality, especially if we've been in a purified isolation, to reconnect and rebuild with our soul and to reconnect with our light body. It's bringing balance so we can have sustainability in our own world, right? Because right now, as we see through the restructuring and the truth revelation and unveiling that's occurring globally, right? Like we are seeing a lot of things coming to the forefront right now that a lot of people may not want to face and witness. As a result, as those things are being faced and witnessed, that they've been occurring, there's an opportunity to go within and to heal, right? And to feel everything that we need to feel so we don't become reactionary. The over amount of stress and burden on keeping the house alive, on keeping the dollar in the pocket, on keeping the quote-unquote creations alive, and then witnessing this stuff, at some point we begin to crack. And we begin to fracture and break down because it's just so overwhelming. And so the release of this burden by holding space for this to occur is essentially Atlas allowing the world to fall off of his shoulders and to know that it's not held on one person, and that level of pressure doesn't have to be held on one or multiple individuals in the reality, as we don't need to hold the burdens But what we're doing is we're allowing the universe to support us now. We're allowing the universe to hold us and to guide us. We're allowing the divine to really take care of us as that level of work has been done. When we begin to release the pressure, the sooner we are to not project that pressure onto others. And so we can find discord in relationships and partnerships, and even discord amongst the family and the tribes as a result of pressure of keeping our foundations alive. And a New Earth foundation is not held by distorting our templates or by doing to the point of sacrifice or martyrdom or doing because of lack. A part of holding this New Earth foundation is that we live in inspiration. We live in peace and joy, and in that true abundance and support of that universal support network. And we allow ourselves to flow. And so when we drop the resistance at whatever level we need to drop the resistance, and we drop our swords, we drop our weapons, we drop our armor, and we soften, we provide ourselves an opportunity to soften the field, soften the energetics, and open up to receive. We receive more. We do less. And it's not by means of that we're doing less because we're lackadaisical or we're lazy, but we understand the balance of energetics and the balance of the universe, where the universe can provide for us, right? But also making sure that we are doing from a place of purity, and we're doing from a place of purity and doing from a place of harmony, and we're doing it from a space of open-hearted connection to the soul drive and to the soul compass and the compassion that we hold for humanity. It's not doing because of distortion, which keeps a lot of storylines fueled, active, and alive. It's going to provide a lot of opportunity for people to really just go within and to feel and to heal and to be with self, right? And so these reflective moments are necessary. We anchor the light codes. We honor our roles of gatekeeping, grid keeping. We honor the roles of code keeping. But also, we could begin to mend all those places of separation where we could not create that relationship. It's basically a wide open space to receive in such a way, shape, form, manner that we can stay connected to all that we are. We can stay connected to our universal support. We can stay connected to soul, light, higher self. And we can also provide others to do the same and to soften and to engage with more compassion and to feel more, especially as the revelation occurs, right? So, yeah, it's been a beautiful passageway, but it's really an important part of clearing those cultural templates to begin aligned to a place and space within us where we can ask ourselves, if I were to have it all as source and body, if I were provided everything and had no fear, what would I be doing with my life? And how can I begin to weave that? And what's interesting is even the threading of this, of how we weave this into our own lives, is that the reality that we're calling forward and seeding, or we are about to harvest, might not seem service oriented, right? So it might not be as how do I want to put this? There's a spiritual stigma with being a light worker that we have to have a YouTube channel or be a healer, right? And what it's doing is it's saying, hey, step away from the New Age templates, okay? What do you want to do with your soul line creation? And then beginning to walk that path. And what happens is our service roles, because it's so deeply ingrained within us as way showers, as guides, as wanderers, as light workers, as star seeds, to embody a service role within that. So as we begin to find what our thread of soul-aligned reality is, there is a way that it serves the whole, and it serves the one, and it serves the collective, and it serves others in a way that's balanced and not distorted. And so I found that even when I look at what do I want to create, what do I want to do, as that's unfolding, it's not in regards to service to humanity. But as it evolves, there is a way that it does serve, whether it be in the quantum field or, one-on-one with an individual or a family or a certain dynamic, that it gets threaded in and it unravels more and more. So if you're finding that you are activating new creations and it's not service-oriented to New Earth or service-oriented to Gaia, allow it to evolve, because there might be a service role in that you might not hear, see, feel at this time, or that's being woven through, or it might be another level of service to activate a new part of a template for yourself as well. Okay, so when we receive these codes, to activate and embody those codes, we take on different action steps to open up the activation and to receive the packets from that. And as a result, it might not seem service oriented. And that's where some of us can go into guilt, shame, blame, or judgment that we want to create in a way that doesn't serve. But it does. Let's just say that. And it really is about the service is to soul, higher self, light body, star body. It's service to our galactic origins. It is a level of service, but we might not see it right now. So it's being asked of us to dissolve the guilt and dissolve all of those feelings we might have where it's not to be in the way that we thought it was, right? And so it's just a new level of creation, new level of insight, and this passageway is allowing us that opportunity to do that. So as we're getting closer and closer to the solar eclipse, you might feel a buildup in energetics to do, right? Beginning to align those creations and starting to take those baby steps so we can begin to harvest those creations, harvest those rewards that we've been calling forward. And it really is, it feels like balanced baby steps in being able to get to that quantum leap. But also it's going to open up another level of seeding for us through summer solstice and winter summer solstice. A new seeding of what we're going to be calling forward as an experience over the next 9 to 12 months for ourselves, and what's going to be unraveling at the next marker for ourselves in the collective trajectories in our own personal organic ascension pathways, right? So take this time to honor and to be with yourself. Take this time to mother and father yourself if you're feeling the call to stay down and stay off. It really is about us following our compass and not following other people. So while this might be true for me in this now moment, it might not be true for another individual. And this is why that keeping that connection open to higher self, soul, light body, and working with the go windows of creation are important in aligning to our soul aligned tasks and what they look like, right? And how they evolve. As many of us, have different roles between grids, gates, showing up online, personal sessions, family, community, and how we weave in and out of that of our multidimensional creation. As I saw it today, it's like our room of toys is expanding, and every day we have something to play with that is creation, that is serving the new earth trajectories and our organic pathways, and it's up to us to align to which serves our highest good in every now moment. But it gives us a wide array of pieces of the puzzle to play with, and different things and forms of creation that we can play with that serve, once again, it serves the collective trajectories, and it's going to be different for every individual, right? So if you're in this space right now just being and connecting, please just keep being and connecting, and you'll feel that the energies are opening up more and more for us to do more, or to get ready for the next shift for ourselves, and to just keep honoring that, right? Keep honoring that. So I love you guys. Much love and respect to everyone out there. And I'm going to go back to being. All right. Love you guys. Ciao.